Howdy folks, Reliable Prepper here. We often think about life's adventures in the great outdoors, scaling mountains, navigating dense jungles. But what happens when the unexpected hits closer to home? What happens when the world we know changes overnight? Imagine this, streets eerily empty, the rhythm of daily life replaced by the rumble of military vehicles. This isn't a scene from a movie, folks. This is the stark reality of martial law. History has shown us time and time again, from the streets of New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina to parts of Europe during times of conflict, that martial law, though a last resort, is a very real possibility. Now, I'm not one to dwell on doom and gloom, but I am a firm believer in being prepared. Knowing how to navigate challenging situations, whether it's surviving in the wilderness or facing uncertainty in our own towns, is crucial. And that's exactly why we're here today. In this video, we're diving headfirst into the what, the why, and the how of preparing for martial law. We'll break down exactly what martial law means for everyday folks like you and me. We'll explore the potential situations that could lead to such a drastic measure. Knowledge is power, my friends. But this ain't just about understanding the problem. It's about equipping ourselves with the tools and strategies to face it head-on. We're talking essential supplies, vital skills, and the importance of community in times of crisis. So, if you're ready to learn how to navigate the uncertainties of tomorrow, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Got any of your own preparedness tips or experiences you'd like to share? Drop them in the comments below. Let's create a community of preparedness, ready to face whatever challenges come our way. Remember, folks, the best way to predict the future is to prepare for it. Let's get started. All right, folks, let's break down this term, martial law. It sounds scary, I know. And frankly, it can be. In the simplest terms, martial law is like hitting the pause button on our regular way of life. It's when the government steps in and says, look, things are out of control, we need to take the reins. Now, this ain't some everyday occurrence. It's usually triggered by extreme situations, like a major natural disaster, widespread unrest, or a threat to national security so big, it shakes the very foundation of our country. Think Hurricane Katrina's aftermath, where looting and chaos forced the government's hand. Section 2, Your Rights Reconsidered. Here's the kicker. Under martial law, some of the freedoms we often take for granted, like the right to assemble or even speak our minds freely, might be temporarily restricted. Sounds intense, right? That's because it is. The government's priority becomes maintaining order, often above all else. But here's the crucial part. Even under martial law, we don't just completely lose our rights. The key word here is temporarily. These measures are meant to be a short-term solution, a way to restore order and get things back on track. But knowing your rights and understanding the boundaries is crucial in such times. Section 3. The military's role: protectors or enforcers. Now, you might be wondering, where does the military fit into all of this? Well, under martial law, they become the main force maintaining order. You'll likely see more soldiers patrolling the streets, enforcing curfews and responding to emergencies. It's important to remember that these are the same brave men and women who protect our nation every day. They're not the enemy. Their role in this situation is to help restore stability and security, often in incredibly challenging circumstances. Section 4. Navigating the new normal. Life under martial law, even temporarily, is a different world. It's about adapting to a new normal, understanding the rules, and knowing how to navigate this altered landscape. It's about staying calm, staying informed, and staying connected with your loved ones. In the next part of this video, we're going to dive deep into the specific scenarios that could lead to martial law, so you can understand the potential triggers and how to best prepare for them. Knowledge is power, folks, and the more we understand, the better equipped we are to face whatever comes our way. Now let's talk about those potential scenarios, those what-if situations that could lead to martial law. First up, pandemics. We've all had a taste of global health scares in recent years. But imagine a new virus even more contagious, even deadlier, sweeping across the globe. Hospitals overwhelmed, essential supplies running low, fear gripping entire communities. It's a grim picture, I know, but it's a possibility we can't ignore. And in such a scenario, governments might need to enforce quarantines, restrict travel, and maintain order to prevent further spread and chaos. And then there's the even darker side of this coin: bioterrorism. Imagine a deliberate attack, a weaponized virus released into the population, causing widespread panic and crippling our way of life. In such a situation, martial law might become a necessity to contain the threat, provide medical aid, and restore order amidst the chaos. It's a chilling thought, but one we need to be prepared for. Next up, civil unrest. Now, peaceful protest is a cornerstone of a free society. But what happens when those protests turn violent? When anger boils over and the streets erupt in riots and looting? Think back to the LA riots, the Ferguson unrest. Those were stark reminders of how quickly order can crumble when tensions reach a boiling point. And, in extreme cases, when the safety of citizens and the security of a nation are at stake, martial law might be enacted to restore peace and prevent further violence. It's a delicate balance, folks, between upholding our freedoms and ensuring the safety and security of everyone. And in these volatile times, understanding the potential triggers of civil unrest and knowing how to stay safe amid such chaos is more important than ever. Now let's shift gears to the digital world because, believe it or not, a cyber attack could be just as devastating as any natural disaster. Imagine this: a crippling attack on our power grid, shutting down communication networks, plunging cities into darkness. Suddenly, ATMs are useless, hospitals struggle to function, and our daily lives grind to a halt. It's a recipe for panic, chaos, and in a worst-case scenario, a collapse of societal order. In such a crisis, martial law might be necessary to maintain essential services, restore critical infrastructure, and prevent widespread panic and looting. It's a stark reminder, folks, that the threats we face today aren't just physical. They're digital, they're invisible, and they can cripple a nation just as effectively as any bomb or natural disaster. Section 4. The Crumbling Foundation. Now let's talk about a scenario that hits close to home for many: economic collapse. Imagine a world where the value of our money plummets, where banks close their doors, and where unemployment skyrockets. Suddenly, putting food on the table becomes a daily struggle. Desperation sets in, and the very fabric of our society begins to unravel. In such a scenario, widespread social unrest, looting, and violence become very real threats. And to maintain order, to distribute essential goods, and to prevent a complete societal breakdown, martial law might be the only option. It's a sobering thought, folks, but one we can't afford to ignore. Because when the foundation of our economic system crumbles, the consequences can be swift and devastating. Section 5. Shadows of terror. All right, folks, time to address the elephant in the room: terrorism. We've seen the horrors it can inflict, the fear it can instill. Now imagine a coordinated attack, multiple strikes on our soil, targeting critical infrastructure, government buildings, or even civilian populations. The impact would be devastating, not just in terms of casualties, but also in the psychological blow to our nation's sense of security. In such a scenario, martial law might be declared to restore order, apprehend those responsible, and prevent further attacks. It's a chilling thought, I know, but it's a reality we have to be prepared for. The key is to stay vigilant, be aware of our surroundings, and report any suspicious activity to the authorities. Section 6. Mother Nature's fury. Now, let's not forget about the raw power of Mother Nature. We've all seen the devastation natural disasters can unleash: hurricanes flattening coastal towns, earthquakes reducing cities to rubble, wildfires engulfing entire forests. In the immediate aftermath of such events, when communication networks are down, essential services are disrupted, and communities are in chaos, martial law might be enacted to restore order, coordinate rescue efforts, and prevent looting and violence. It's a reminder, folks, that no matter how prepared we think we are, Mother Nature always has the potential to throw us a curveball. And in those moments of chaos, knowing how to react, how to stay safe, and how to help our communities can be the difference between life and death. All right, folks, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of preparation. Essential supplies can make all the difference in a crisis. Think of it like packing for an expedition, but for the unknown terrain of martial law. Top of the list, water. Aim for at least a gallon per person per day. Next up, food. Long shelf life staples like rice, beans, and canned goods. A well-stocked first aid kit is a must-have. Don't forget personal medications. Finally, think shelter and warmth. Tents, tarps, and blankets. Preparedness is about anticipating needs and having the resources to meet them. Supplies are only part of the equation. Equally important are the skills and knowledge to use them effectively. You wouldn't climb a mountain without knowing how to use a rope, right? First aid and basic medical knowledge are paramount. Knowing how to treat injuries or administer CPR could be life-saving. There are plenty of online resources and courses available. Learning basic self-defense techniques can be invaluable. Awareness and avoidance are your first lines of defense. Gardening, food preservation, water purification. These skills could be the difference between sustenance and starvation. Now, let's talk about one of the most vital aspects of preparedness community. Remember, folks, we're not meant to face challenges alone. In times of crisis, it's our bonds with others, our ability to rely on each other, that can make all the difference. Start by connecting with your neighbors, your friends, your family. Discuss potential scenarios, share knowledge and resources, and establish a support network. Who has medical expertise? Who has mechanical skills? Who has a knack for gardening? By pooling our strengths, we can create a web of resilience. Communication is key. Establish a plan for staying in touch if phones and internet go down. CB radios, walkie-talkies, even designated meeting spots. These can be lifelines when technology fails. Remember, the more connected we are, the better equipped we are to face whatever comes our way. And don't underestimate the power of community action. Forming neighborhood watch groups, organizing supply exchanges, or even just checking in on vulnerable individuals. These acts of solidarity not only strengthen our communities, but also foster a sense of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. Section 4, Financial Fortress, Weathering the Storm. Now, let's talk about finances, because let's face it, economic turmoil often goes hand in hand with times of crisis. Just like we prepare our homes and our skills, we need to prepare our wallets for the unexpected. First and foremost, build an emergency fund. Aim for at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved up. This will provide a cushion if you lose your job, if prices skyrocket, or if you need to relocate. Remember, cash is king in a crisis, so having some on hand is crucial. Next, consider investing in barter items. Things like durable goods, tools, first aid supplies, even coffee and chocolate can become valuable commodities in a barter economy. Think about what people might need or want when traditional currency loses its value. And finally, get your debt under control. The last thing you want in a crisis is to be burdened by high-interest debt. Pay down credit cards, consolidate loans, and explore options for reducing your financial obligations. The less debt you have, the more resilient you'll be in the face of economic uncertainty. Section 5. The mental game, staying sharp when it counts. Now, folks, we've covered a lot of ground, but there's one crucial aspect of preparedness we haven't discussed yet, the mental game. Because when the going gets tough, it's our mindset, our ability to stay calm and focused, that can make all the difference. First and foremost, cultivate a positive attitude. I know it sounds simplistic, but maintaining a sense of hope, even in the face of adversity, can be incredibly empowering. Remember, panic and fear are contagious, but so is resilience and optimism. Next, develop coping mechanisms for stress. Whether it's meditation, exercise, spending time in nature, or connecting with loved ones, find healthy ways to manage stress and anxiety. Remember, a clear mind is a strong mind, and in a crisis, you'll need all the mental fortitude you can muster. And finally, practice situational awareness. Be observant of your surroundings. Pay attention to your gut instincts. And don't be afraid to trust your intuition. Remember, knowledge is power. And the more aware you are of potential threats or dangers, the better equipped you'll be to avoid them. Section 6. Information, your greatest weapon. In a world where chaos reigns, information becomes your most valuable asset. Knowing what's happening, where to find resources, and how to stay safe can be the difference between surviving and succumbing to the unknown. First, diversify your news sources. Don't rely solely on mainstream media. Seek out independent journalists, alternative news outlets, and even citizen reports to get a well-rounded perspective on the situation. Remember, knowledge is power, and the more informed you are, the better equipped you'll be to make sound decisions. Next, learn to filter information. In times of crisis, misinformation and rumors spread like wildfire. Be critical of what you read and hear. Verify information from multiple sources, and don't be afraid to question the narrative. And lastly, utilize technology wisely. Social media platforms, messaging apps, and online forums can be valuable tools for gathering information, coordinating with others, and staying connected with loved ones. However, be mindful of your digital footprint and take steps to protect your privacy and security. Preparedness isn't a solo endeavor, it's about protecting those you love. A prepared family can face challenges together. Have open conversations with your loved ones. Discuss scenarios and involve everyone in planning. Knowledge is empowering and a shared responsibility. Create a family emergency plan. Identify meeting places and assign roles. Reduce chaos with a clear plan. Practice your emergency plans. Test communication systems and identify gaps. The more prepared we are, the better equipped we'll be. We've covered a lot of ground here, folks. From the potential triggers of martial law to the practical steps we can take to prepare, we've delved into some pretty intense scenarios. But if there's one thing I want you to take away from all of this, it's this. The human spirit is incredibly resilient. Throughout history, time and time again, we've faced adversity head-on. We've overcome challenges, rebuilt from the ashes, and emerged stronger on the other side. And that's the spirit we need to tap into now more than ever, because preparedness isn't just about stockpiling supplies or learning survival skills. It's about cultivating that inner strength, that unwavering belief that we can and will overcome whatever obstacles life throws our way. It's about facing the unknown, not with fear, but with courage, determination, and a healthy dose of practical preparation. Remember, folks, the future is unwritten, and we have the power to shape it with our actions, our resilience, and our unwavering commitment to protecting ourselves, our loved ones, and our communities. Now, I know all of this information might seem overwhelming at first, but remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and becoming prepared is a journey, not a destination. Start small, take it one step at a time, and don't be afraid to ask for help along the way. Maybe today, you'll start building your emergency kit, adding a few essential items each week. Or perhaps you'll sign up for that first aid course you've been meaning to take. The key is to take action, to build momentum, and to keep moving forward on your path to preparedness. Remember, every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to a place of greater security, resilience, and peace of mind. And in a world where uncertainty often reigns supreme, that peace of mind is priceless. Now, I want to hear from you. What steps are you taking to prepare for uncertain times? Share your thoughts, your tips, your experiences in the comments below. Let's create a community of preparedness where we can learn from each other, support each other, and face the future together. Remember, folks, knowledge is meant to be shared, and by connecting with each other, by exchanging ideas and experiences, we can all become more prepared, more resilient, and more empowered to face whatever challenges lie ahead. That's all for today, folks. Remember, stay informed, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay strong. And until next time, this is Reliable Prepper signing off.